let's look at the materials that Hokusai used here. First off, this is a woodblock print. Now, Hokusai mastered woodblock prints. He was known for them, that and painting, and it was the most popular type of art in the shogunate. There was popular demand for it, and it encouraged new subject matters. So there were all sorts of compositions being made at the time in the woodblock print style. This particular woodblock print would be made from one carved woodblock, and it would have produced possibly 5,000 prints just from that one woodblock. And of course you can imagine that the quality and the detail would be lost progressively as the prints got made and as the woodblock wore down due to use. So we have a number of the possibly 5,000 left of this particular work, but many of them have been lost, destroyed in tsunamis, in fires, in earthquakes, in other natural disasters, or just have been lost over time. So we don't necessarily have that many which are one of the first the 5,000 made, and therefore the ones which would be pristine and crisp. One material that was crucial to Hokusai making this piece was the advent of a synthetic pigment from Europe called Prussian blue. Now this was delivered from Europe via China to Japan, and so Hokusai could use it, but it was a relatively new thing. And for years and years, Japanese artists had been using Egyptian blue. They had lost the knowledge to actually make this pigment anymore, so it was impossible to really produce prints with such a vivid blue. And this was a real game changer, and we know that as Hokusai used this blue in the earlier prints of this series of Mount Fuji. We see in this, which is one of his later prints in this series, that he's introduced some colour. He's introduced some light grey in the background behind Mount Fuji to suggest night falling, and that there's a light pink in the background to give an atmosphere of the dawning of a new day. These are stylistically important to Hokusai here, and they also indicate again the simplicity of his style and the minimalism of his approach. Now, Japan in the 18th century was increasingly isolated, and there was much pressure from the rest of the world to open up. One regime was overthrown and the centre was moved to Kyoto, which is now modern Tokyo, from Edo, with a 16-year-old emperor. So lots of change there. It meant that eventually there was trade with the rest of the world, and this is how the Japanese aesthetic has influenced the rest of the world and Western art. And we're going to look at that in the future video. In the next video, we're going to look at, however, how Hokusai was influenced by Europe in the first place. Hope you liked our video. Like the video, subscribe to our page and spread the word. Thanks.